YouTube, HPZ here today, and what I've got here is our little computer that we built in the previous episode. I've also got a lot of birds outside that today don't want to keep quiet. Unfortunately, I think it's mating season or something. I can't do anything about that. Nonetheless, what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be installing the software. Unfortunately, there's no other way to do the software other than to physically take the camera and put it in front of the screen. I've turned off continual autofocus. You'll see that my LCD screen does have a purple line across it, and that's the unfortunate happenings of not having enough money to buy a new LCD screen. I was going to with my bonus this month, but guess what? I didn't get one. I didn't need to get a pay increase as well, so no new LCD screen. So what I'm doing is, next door I've got the computer hooked up to a CRT. I like the CRTs more. And I've got my VGA splitter connected to it, and I've got it split so that it's on this screen as well, so you can see what I'm doing. And this is just going to be the little beginning of the video. I'm going to try and not do this through the entire thing, because I do have a VGA capture card that I'm going to be using to show you more in depth some of the things that we're going to be changing and stuff. And yeah, this is only for the beginning of it, when we install the OSes. And when I did the other video, I sparked a bit of controversy about Windows ME, and to be fair, a lot of that is a bit founded. When it came out, it was the most unreliable, unstable, unwanted piece of software. No one wanted to use it, and up until recently that does seem to be the case. But a few years back, someone sat down and they actually created unofficial service packs for Windows ME. After that happened, Windows ME started becoming a rock-solid operating system. You do still miss some stuff like DOS and a few other features, but you gain the advantage of running a higher DirectX version, higher Internet Explorer version, having more patches, being more reliable than 9080 SE when you do that unofficial patch. And of course, the fact that you can tell people you're actually running Windows ME without any problems and starting arguments. That's a very good reason to run Windows ME. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're not just going to run Windows ME. I'm going to take the time and the effort to actually create a multi-boot environment where I'm going to be running 3 to 4 operating systems. I'm still not quite sure about the fourth, but I'm going to try and aim for that. Basically, on this computer we're going to use Plop Boot Manager. We're going to install Windows 95 OSR2, so it's the last version of Windows 95. It has USB support and a few other things. And we're also going to run Windows ME and then DOS 7. All that's going to do for me is going to give me full DOS compatibility, 95 in case one or two of the applications doesn't work in Windows ME. I can switch to Windows 95. And yeah, that's the basic plan, the basic gist of the whole process. I'm also going to be doing unofficial patches for all of those, updating drivers, etc. and just getting the machine as stable as I possibly can. Which might be a bit of a feat, because I know this motherboard isn't the most stablest thing in the world. It's very, very picky. But I'm going to give it a try nonetheless. You'll also notice that I'm going to fast forward the physical installation stuff, because let's face it, looking at Windows installing is boring. Unless you want to do that, you can always search YouTube, and there are thousands of videos of people just installing Windows that you can have a look at. So without further ado, I'm going to go a bit sideways here. I'm going to... Right, so what we're going to do here quickly is we're just going to start the boot CD. Going to be using Ranish Partition Manager. Okay. Now you see here we've got a weird layout here which I don't like, so I'm going to go and I'm going to take this and I'm just going to delete all of that. Here, FAT32, the first partition I want to do is my primary partition. I want 40 gigabytes. I'm also going to do it, quick format. I know this hard drive is perfectly fine, so I'm not going to do anything else to it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one here. I want to do the secondary one as 15 gigabytes. Then I'm going to be doing another one here. Same thing as well, 15 gigabytes. And one final partition which I'm going to do as the rest, whatever's left over, so 8 gigabytes in total. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of labels here. So I'm just going to hit enter on one, enter. No. I can't change the names in range. That's why I don't like range. So the first one here I'm just going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I need to mark one of these as active. Partition is set. Okay, and I've got my partitions here. Now what's going to happen, because I can't name these at the moment, still waiting for that to finish. Okay, all of them are finished. Okay, because I can't name these at the moment, this one's going to be Windows ME. This is going to be our Windows 95. It's going to be DOS. And the last one is a shared drive between all of the other drives, so we can share information and I don't have to worry about that. I'm now going to save the disk. Okay, there we go. So, as you saw there, our first drive is Windows ME, the dreaded, the hated. Nobody likes Windows ME for some reason. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap the disk out. I've got my Windows ME. Now this is going to be a bit different than what you're normally used to, because we have to install Plop Boot Manager. And with a bit of luck, Plop will automatically detect the partitions I just made, and we can then put labels on them and make them look nice. I still have to figure out again how Plop works. I haven't used Plop in a little while. Okay, so this, we don't want the CD-ROM just yet. Okay, so there we have it. So I'm going to go to B drive, because A drive isn't A drive anymore. Earlier I prepared a stiffy with Plop Boot Manager, you can see it there. So we're going to go PLP INST to install Plop. Full Boot Manager install. Start the installer. Yes. Okay, and you'll notice that number 2 is very important. The rewrite loader if Plop doesn't start because of new master boot record. So we just need to remember that, because that's very, very useful. got the set to actually boot from CD-ROM. I just want to do hard drive quickly. And here we've got Plop Boot Manager. Setup, partitions, first hard drive, edit label. Select device, it's the hard drive, partition info, that's fine, I've got it there. Okay, so that's the first one down, yes. Second, we want to do the last drive we've got there is the shared partition. So here's all my partitions that I just created. Okay, so profiles. The first profile we want to do is Windows ME. Show new partitions. Okay. So the first one, I want the Windows ME partition, and I want to clear shared. Second, we're going to do Windows 98, 95. I keep on thinking it's Windows 95. Partition here, 95 here, and I want my shared drive there. And I want to be able to boot from this drive there. Escape, so it changes. The next one is edit label, DOS, one. My DOS partition, my shared partition, and a DOS must be bootable. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to boot Windows ME. I don't have an operating system installed on this computer yet, so this will fail. The other thing I forgot to do is to make these visible. There we go. So here's my boot options. I can start Windows ME, Windows 95, I can boot to DOS, floppy, CD-ROM, or to a USB drive. The USB is very useful because a lot of the machines can't boot to USB anymore, so a lot of the older machines can't boot to USB, that just didn't exist back then. So that's extremely useful. So I'm going to run Windows ME. It is going to crash because I don't have an operating system installed on there. System is not installed. Pressing a key, it's going to boot my CD-ROM again. Now it's going to boot Plop, but in that case we're going to start the CD-ROM. CD-ROM support this time around. Okay, so I'm copying the context from the 9x directory to the C drive. That's just easier. Anything about that? Okay. Now what I do normally is I run mine with IE-IS. So we go to setup, black, skip the startup screen, okay, and do not run ScanDisk because I don't think it's needed at this stage. I know this hard drive is perfect. I've scanned it before I started this, not too long ago. And use Windows ME. Now, must disappear nowadays. Custom. Okay, accessibility. Yeah. Accessories. Let's go back. Accessories. Desktop wallpapers, mouse pointers. Definitely all the screensavers. Address book I don't need. I also don't need Outlook. Dial-up networking I don't need. Yes, you can install a direct cable connection, hyper terminal, interconnection speeding, sharing, MSN, net meeting, dialer. All of those I don't need. UPnP install. List of themes. Because you know what? Why not? Games, multimedia. We just choose everything multimedia. Online services I don't want. System tools, character clipboard, compressed folders is useful. System monitor, system resource meter. Those are pretty useful. And this is probably going to be a part that I skip and I fast forward for you guys. Else this video is going to be way too long. So just to show you here, I'm going to boot from hard drive. We don't get Plop anymore, we get Windows ME. Which isn't a problem, we're going to fix that just now after Windows ME is finished. So remember, every single time you install a new OS, you have to reinstall Plop if that's right. I see it didn't detect my network card at all, but that's not the end of the world. Interesting that I do want to check is I want to see if that sound card got detected. I can see the little speaker at the bottom, so it means that it must have installed the sound card. I just want to see what driver it found for it. Oh, it did actually detect the network card. I just don't know why it did detect my network environment. Maybe that network card doesn't work. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it detected it as a Sound Blaster 16 plug and play. And it has Creative 3D Stereo Enhancement technology. I haven't seen that one yet installed. It must be unique to this card. It also detected my USB for some reason. That doesn't always happen. Then we find the display logically because this is a Geforce 4200 Ti. It's a bit after its time. And it didn't install the wire. It does have some of the wire stuff there, but nothing that I would say is out of the ordinary. You can now start with Windows 98. 95, so out of the disk. And with the OCR, we're going to do the exact same, including reinstalling Plop, as what we did with Windows ME. It's interesting, my Windows 95 isn't bootable. Huh. So exactly the same as what we did before without CD-ROM first. Okay, so we're going to rewrite the boot manager, which is number 2. And then we're going to press show the boot manager. No, it's a boot manager, I want keys only. So I'm just going to reboot it. So boot from hard drive, and I should see Plop again. There we go, Plop. It remembered my settings. That's great. So Windows 95 now. Okay, rebooting. CD-ROM again. Start rebooting from. Okay. Now let's see if this actually works. See, C drive doesn't have any files anymore because we're now in Windows 95 mode. There we go. Once again, same things I did before. It's still IE what is, but just to show you. It doesn't actually run scatters before. It doesn't create a boot disk. and use the Windows 95 installer. And we have some property. We have those articles properties which you understand. Right, so switch. Thank you. And we have this welcome back. Right, welcome back. What you did miss, I forgot, was the setup screen where you choose components. I basically did the exact same thing as what I did in Windows 98. So there's absolutely no difference here. Right, and what I love about Windows 95, and why they removed the previous versions, you can actually click on the country and it will automatically select it. On Windows 95, since the second revision, they removed that. I don't know why. I don't have a printer. See, and people wonder why Windows ME is supposed to be unstable. Or, well, that's a driver related issue. I'm sure I can get that working in safe mode, but that just proves a point. People are always on the case about Windows ME being so unstable. They haven't ran 95 themselves in a while yet, so let's see if I can get into safe mode. Well, safe mode still works, that means that I can probably get this working again. But I have no idea. I'll probably have to install the WinME 4-in-1 drivers in safe mode. Okay, it didn't detect a lot of my things. Okay, so that's on there. Lots of my stuff doesn't work because there's no drivers. But I see that it does not have, there's my hard drive controllers. Okay. Primary, secondary. Remove, yes. Could be what's interfering. But that means it's still fixable at least. I can still try and get the VIA drivers working on here. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but I see no reason why it won't. It might be a pain now as reinstalling Plop, but luckily I do have that installed and I've got my Stiffy plugged in here. Plop boot manager is back on again, and now it's time for the last one. And luckily on this one I don't have to reinstall Plop at all, and that is DOS 7.1. Gonna restart. Okay, so we just did 95. We're now going to do DOS. So click on DOS. I don't have a CD in. Let's put the CD in. There we go. It's the CD-ROM driver in Plop. Messed it about a little bit. Let's see. No mouse support yet. And there's mouse support. Okay. So, for those of you at home, you can probably read all of this. Basically, DOS 7.1 is just a ripped out version of DOS 7 from Windows 95. So I'm not going to rewrite my master boot record because I already have a bootloader. Full installation. Next. Okay. Luckily DOS is quite quick. Now we're going to get to the add-ons. Right, add-on pack, yes I want that. pack, yes I want that. Yes, I want you to install drivers for my sound card. Yes. Now I've got a Sound Blaster AWE plug and play, that's the closest you've got to what I've got. It doesn't have a Sound Blaster 16 plug and play, and I definitely don't have a PCI or a live Sound Blaster in the system. So I'm just going to say continue. Quick view, yeah, you can install quick view for me. MPX play, yes, you can install that. CPD, I don't know what CPD add-ons is, but you can install that. System tools, yes. Microsoft antivirus, no. Microsoft backups, no. Alternate utilities, please. File manager, yes, you can install that. Walk-off, yes, it's basically an auto utilities. No, don't run it automatically. Graphics vision, yes. No, don't auto run it. Chinese add-ons, no, not Chinese. No. No, I don't need this. Yeah, you can do that. And that's DOS done. Let's quickly have a look at DOS. I want to see if that audio driver works, or if I should download the Soundmaster 16 one and replace it. It should do if memory serves right. I can remember something of the sort. And I should be able to do all of this through Plop. Yep, create a Soundmaster 16 plug and play driver is successfully installed. And this is DOS. DOS is working. CD DOS 71. Install.exe. remember correctly, there was a GUI that they used. Basic, it's somewhere here. But nonetheless, DOS is working, and I don't need to change anything else in DOS in the setup. I can tweak how much memory is provided and everything else, but I really don't see the need for that. No, that's all. Let's go to media. What do they have here? Yeah, that's just that. I could have sworn that I told it I wanted. DOS shell CD. There's a DOS shell. That's there, that works. I think it's just GVF. I never actually used to use the graphical user interfaces. I always just used to use command lines. But there we go, a graphic user interface for DOS. And it works, everything works. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to install the drivers and get everything up to standard. That is going to take a little while. I'm probably going to just show you Windows ME because like you saw before, Windows 95 gave me trouble. And yeah, it's everything should work. Just to prove that everything does work like this, with the setup, I just ran DOS. I want Windows ME. I don't shut down normally, just now. And there's Windows ME booting. Let's try Windows 95 just to test it. I want to see if that blue screen still happens with that one driver removed. And there we go. That works now. I can actually disable the IDE controller and I should be able to get into ME just fine. No, don't restart yet. Okay, because I need to go Internet Explorer. That's probably going to give me a nasty thing just now, and I have to disable that. Okay, primary creative labs. Disable the object profile. Or I3 player.